Hi everyone, I am excited to start our official first project of the school year. So what we are going to need is at least 2 pieces of paper, and these need to be a little bit of a heavier weight paper. It can't be printer paper because we are going to paint on top of these pieces. So I used regular drawing paper, but it's a heavier weight. So whatever you have at home is gonna be okay as long as it's not printer paper. Because when you're using acrylic paint and you have thin paper, it'll just kind of warp the paper or it'll make a hole in it once you go back and forth with your brush. So what I'm gonna ask you to do is to get your piece of paper, your regular 8.5 by 11 or whatever size you have. And I'm gonna ask you to cut some of the top off so that you create a square. A square format is great because we're creating 2 pieces that work together. Now, if you wanna challenge yourself, you can create 3. But right now the requirements, or what I'm asking you to do, is to create 2 pieces. So you'll need 2 pieces of paper that are the same size. Because when you have them next to each other, they're gonna work side by side. So they need to be the same size. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with just one of the pieces. And the challenge is that you create a piece that represents balance. Now, balance in an art piece is really important. It's a way for the eye to move around the piece evenly. So you can use anything in your house. I have a spray paint can top. You definitely need a ruler because anytime you're drawing a straight line, you need to have a ruler. So you can only use circular objects and a ruler to create this image. So we can't see any flowers, any symbols, any images that we know here on Earth and that we talk about or that we see every day. You have to create something more abstract, and it's just based off of lines and circles. So what you're gonna do is start with a pencil and a ruler, and you're gonna create your own shapes. Now, I would start off very lightly, but you need to create enough spaces because we're gonna fill these spaces with different colors. So what I love about this project is every student's art piece looks very different because they were able to fully explore. So I'm just gonna kind of not think so much and just start adding lines and shapes, and then I'm gonna take a step back and I'm gonna look at it and say, do I feel like it's balanced? Is it too heavy in one area and too light in another area? So by heavy, I mean, are there too many lines or too many shapes on one side? Right now I've drawn these lines. I think it might be nice to kind of balance something on the other side, but you know, just looking at this, it's heavy right here. I don't wanna bring heaviness just in the center. I'm thinking maybe I might bring the eye down a little bit and trace the shape down there. So I've seen students that have kept the images very minimal, meaning there's very few shapes and lines, and then I've seen some students that really added so many details and so many images. I actually really like this. I think I can add more, I just don't know if I want to. I think I might maybe bring my eye up a little bit by doing another shape over here. And maybe I might mimic these lines over here. I think I might do that. Create some balance. So these see all these thoughts that I am saying out loud. This is what I'd like to hear you think about at home and think, let me turn it this way. Let me see what I think. Do I think it's balanced? Do I think I want to add another element over here? Because I'm thinking that right now I feel like this is pretty balanced, and then I bring my eye down here. So I'm really looking at my piece differently. I actually think I might want to remove this line. My eraser didn't really work. I think it just made my line darker, but that's okay because I'm going to paint over this. So I think I like that. If I kind of cover that line, you'll see, for me, I think that's pretty balanced. I like that it's not perfectly even, and I didn't place a circle in each corner and make it that simple. I like that I'm playing around with lines, creating more weight here, less weight here, but I still make sure that my piece is balanced by the objects around it. So this is a very loose project. There's not too many restrictions when you're creating your shapes and your lines, because we've talked a lot about and analyzed art in the past and how really anything can be considered art. And this is, to start the year, I want to start off with something fun, something loose, but that can get in technical vocabulary when we're discussing a lot of the color theory that's going to be involved when creating the colors to fill in this piece. So once you have the image that you like, what you're going to do is you need to create an identical art piece. So something that I love to do is to use the outside light as a light box, to use a window in your home. Now what you need to do is, if you can see, I almost lined the two up, but I left the back one up just slightly. And I need to do that because when I add a piece of tape to the top, it's going to make sure to hold both pieces of my artwork. So now they're stuck together and I know that they're lined up on the sides. And so now what I can do is go tape this on a window and trace it. And so once I trace my background image onto my front, I'm going to have two identical art pieces. So that is what I want you to do first. And then once you have two identical art pieces, I want you to capture both of them and send them and attach them to the card. So first step, draw a balanced art piece with shapes, only a ruler and circular objects in your home. And second step, make sure you line these pages up perfectly, but just along the top, we'll leave a little bit of the back piece up so I can tape them both with this piece of tape. And I go and stick it on a window, and the light is going to come through the back so that I can trace the image on the front. Okay, can't wait to see what you do.